Okay, so now we're back again with Alethea.
Hello.
And Leanna. And this time we're going to be talking about touring, book touring, and literary questions and favorites. Okay, so we did talk about your favorite fashion, but totally tell us, what's your favorite thing to wear on tour? Do you have like
dresses?
Yes.
Like I love the long flowy skirty things. So I love bustles, and I love layers, and I love lace, and I love netting and stuff like that. So for me, it's for me it is a chance to. I always have a sort of a neo-Victorian style in my everyday clothes, and always gothic, and so always black. And that's been my style for, like, it's not a phase, kids. This has been with me since, and I haven't grown out of this, Mom and Dad. I love a chance to sort of take it up a notch, where I would maybe be in cottons during the day. If at an event, I'm going to change that to silks and satins and stuff and make it a little bit more formal. So it's just going out on dressing up to the nines. That's something that both of us are.
Yes.
We're.
But I have learned the perils. Oh, I would wear ball gowns every single show if I could.
I'd wear them every day.
The perils of wearing a floor-length dress at Dragon Con, because there are escalators and there are people. And yeah. I bought my first skirt with like the ruffle that dusted the ground, and it was so beautiful. And yet I got used to yelling, "Dress! Dress!" on the escalator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
because if people didn't get off of me, I would be crushed. So there are dangers, the perils of our costume. We are strong women.
So always having something that has a train that has a thing that you can wrap up in your.
Or having an entourage. It's very helpful.
That's also true.
What about a favorite good luck item? Do you have a good luck item that you carry around with you, or
good people? I always try and make sure that we have good people around. Both Leah and I are
that
really.
That is very true.
That's it's for me. It's
shout
not
out to my
stuff.
Brute Squad. Absolutely. Nessa was at our last signing, and she was amazing. I love you, Nessa.
People, honestly, having good people around, they're the best good luck charm, because it's about. Doing this as a business and doing author events, it's about the people that are in the audience, and so it's not as much about a thing, but it's about who is there. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so favorite fairy tale or gas lamp fantasy? Do we have a favorite?
I have a favorite. My favorite fairy tale is The Goose Girl. It has always been my favorite fairy tale, which is strange because there are psychologists who will say, throughout your life, your favorite fairy tale will change as you grow. But my favorite fairy tale has always been The Goose Girl. Take that for what you will.
For me, Gaslamp Fantasy now is a genre label that has been put on us modern authors, setting our things in fantastical realms in the Victorian era. For me, I go to the source that started most of the genre fiction that I love, and that's Edgar Allan Poe. So as you can see, he's around my neck. He's my literary boyfriend. I love him.
Oh, whatever.
And,
we're still
we fight. We're still fighting over Poe.
Still fighting over Poe.
So Poe created mystery fiction and created the modern Gothic as we know it today, and also actually created sort of science fiction. If you actually look at that, he created Sir Arthur Conan Doyle said that Poe created the detective novels, or the detective story. So if Conan Doyle says so, then yeah, it is so. So I think for me, he is the definition of everything. And so if I always ask myself in writing, what would Poe do? The WWPD, and that is the answer to all of my questions about writing.
Excellent. Okay, so favorite food on tour. Do you have like a specific food that you're just like,
food.
We're going
just
on?
trying to remember to eat. It really
actually especially with the corsets, people are always asking us out to dinner, and I would have to change first.
Small portions.
Because I tried on my first book tour eating like fajitas while wearing a corset. It is very uncomfortable. So mostly I have found the beauty of the protein bar. At least 10 grams of protein. It has become my subsistence food throughout Dragon Con. It is a wonderful thing.
Caffeine.
But while I have a corset on, I love you, everyone. You may offer me a coffee.
Yes.
With the coaster stuck to a coffee. But yeah, don't, the food.
Yeah, no,
we live on air.
And caffeinate us and we're good. That's really all. We need to wind us up.
You guys are like totally like overlapping your fashion with everything. I should have just left it running.
It really is. Well, it is the definition.
It is. Okay, so favorite literary sibling? and then favorite spy. And that doesn't have to be literary, but it can be.
Well, the great thing about why I wrote Eternophiles is because I was watching MI6, which in England, BBC's MI6, which in England it was called Spooks, right? And that has connotations, so you can't say that. And so, but the Brits didn't care about that. But in America, it's MI6. And that I was watching that and going, wouldn't that be amazing if that was like set in my time period, the Victorian era? So that was the question of that, and the unrequited love between Harold. Or between Harry and, sorry, I literally totally just pulled his name from my book. Between Harry and Ruth, who I've called Rose in my stuff, like it's totally blatant. So they're my favorite spies, but literary spy, Scarlet Pimpernel, because of Scarlet Pimpernel.
Oh, yes.
I mean, hello. So I try and do a little homage with Pimpernel because I just think he's amazing, and
Yeah.
a lot of my stuff has some Pimpernel in it.
I was so in love with Anthony Andrews.
He's
Oh my
God.
gosh.
I can't even.
But even before that, Leslie Howard.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh,
Leslie
so
Howard.
good. And literary sibling, I would say that my favorite Jane Austen novel is Sense and Sensibility because I love the dynamic of Marianne and Eleanor, and I am very Marianne. I am very Marianne in so many ways, and so
And
she,
I'm very Eleanor.
I know this is why we're besties.
Wow.
See, doesn't it parallel?
It's not just the Anne Shirley, Diana Barry.
No, it's not. Because we were also
Wow.
Anne Shirley and Diana Barry
Oh,
as well.
I
So
totally
we
see
are the
that.
literary. Yes, this is. Well, the great thing about a recent review of Eternophiles said if Anne Shirley wrote a gothic novel, it would be the Eternophiles, and I was like, yes, you understand. This is who I am. So this is very good. So I totally Marianne and Eleanor.
Yes.
Those are my favorite sibs.
Okay, so my favorite literary sibling is, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Tamara Pierce once again because Tom,
Love us.
Alana's twin brother Tom, is my favorite. And I will not spoil something for anyone, but something happens, and I threw the book across the room, and I actually met Tammy, and I talked to her, and I asked her point blank why she had to do that, and she explained it, and it made sense. But
Yeah, it's hard.
Tom
That's
totally
a
led
really
Tom.
good one. And I never would have thought that. When you said you were throwing the book across the room, I think maybe that was my response
See?
as well.
So much.
It's so sad.
As for Spy, I have to say Harriet the Spy.
Yeah.
Because I was Harriet the Spy. I wanted to
Oh,
be in
yeah.
a dumbwaiter so badly.
Well-
I kept journals. Kids don't keep journals anymore. They blog publicly, which is crazy. How do you tell your secret loves in a blog? This
Let
is
me just
wrong.
You have to become a gossip.
interrupt here. My son keeps a journal and he hides it. He
Good for him.
hides it.
See?
So
Yes.
there are
Keep your
still
secrets.
people who
Keep your
are
secrets,
Secrets,
there
kids.
are.
You'll need them later. Those secrets. Keep them.
they could pay off, huh?
Yeah, you could become a novelist for a living.
Exactly.